I made a Twitch channel point reward that lets your chat roll the dice on stream, and I have a couple of good news about it. Of course, 6-sided dice, 6 possibilities, and I'm sharing everything for free. So this works with OBS Studio and it utilizes StreamerBot. So you need those two things. Now, not only am I sharing the animation files, but I'm also sharing my StreamerBot file, meaning that all of the complicated tinkering are something that you won't have to do. You can actually go find it right now over at gumroad.com/guy-level, but make sure you watch the video first so you can understand what you're getting yourself into. The other good news is that since we're utilizing StreamerBot, I used a Twitch channel point reward system to trigger those, but you can use whatever. Keeping in mind that StreamerBot is compatible with Kick, with Meld, with Trovo, Twitch, YouTube. So the truth is, you decide what triggers it or which platform. So how does it work? Well, it's very simple. Once you get the pack from Gumroad, you're actually gonna have 12 different animations. 6 of them, red dice, black dots, then 6 others, red dice, white dots. And if you don't like the red, don't worry, I'll show you how to change the color. To make sure everything runs smoothly with that StreamerBot file, you want to create a brand new scene and you want to make sure you call it dice with a capital D. Now inside of said scene, what you want to do is click on the plus to add a brand new source, and you want to add a media source. When you click on it, it's going to prompt you to give it a name, and this is where you want to type dice 1, dice 1, capital D, no space. At which point it will ask you to browse for it, and all you have to do is find the corresponding webm video. The video names are dice 1 through 6, so that's easy. Once you added that, just click OK, and at this point the video should play. Alright, now repeat this step until you added every single one of them, just like so, and then turn them off. Make sure that you make them hidden. And that's it for the OBS part for now. Now on the StreamerBot part, you will find a file right there called roll action by guy-level. You want to keep that to the side and open up StreamerBot. Up top, you want to go and click on import, which will bring this empty window here. And from there, all you have to do is click and drag that file into that, at which point you'll see dice roll, you'll see one action is there, and click import. Now, of course, you do need to have StreamerBot already set up, so connected to your platform, connected to OBS. And if you don't know how to do that, that's fine. Make sure you watch my StreamerBot playlist. I have videos on how to quickly get that set up. All right, so let's go to our actions, and we are going to find our dice roll action right there. I don't know if it's going to put it in a group, probably. So look under the dice roll group, and we're going to see our action groups right there. Now, as I said, I have it connected to a channel point reward. So one thing you want to make sure is that that trigger is working. So double click on it and click on the drop down. And if you don't have a dice roll channel point reward, it's completely fine. You can just create it. Takes a couple seconds. Just call it dice roll, put a description, and then put a cost and click create. If you don't want to use Twitch or channel point redemption, just add whatever trigger you want. Kicks seem to have channel rewards too, so you can just do that. If you want a command to trigger it instead, just core commands, command triggered, etc. You figure it out. Now, technically you're done. Like, it should be working at this point. If you have your trigger, you're pretty much good to go. But I'll explain the way it works. So if you want to create something different and, make your own, you get the gist of it. Inside of each group here, I have 4 different actions. The first one is basically a chat message to tell people which number they roll. If they have too much delay, if your stream lagged, if there's an ad going on, they can still roll. That's why I put the chat message. If you don't want the chat message, you can always right click and then disable it right there. Second thing it does is just turn on the video of dice 1, wait for 6 seconds, and then turn it off. And it's the same thing over and over again. Now, how does it play it randomly? That's a good question. Under the action, if you right click, you'll see there's a random option. I have that on. And then if you right click on the groups, you'll also see that I have wait enabled. So this is basically the probability, and I have it at 1 for each. So they all have the same probability of being picked. If you want them to have different probabilities, you can play with that, but that doesn't seem fair for dice. Now, of course, you're asking yourself, why would people be rolling the dice? Like, what's the prize if they roll a 6, for example? Well, that's up to you. I have it here so that the message is a little different. It says, oh my God, the name of the user rolled a 6, congrats. But since we're using StreamerBot, you can make it do absolutely whatever you want, including something like play a sound. So if I go core, sounds, I'll have the option to play a sound. In fact, I'm going to add it right now. I'm going to make it use the file name. I'm going to look for the file.
Yeah. In the beginning.
All right, let's make it play this. I'm going to click open, and you can always come back here if the volume is too loud or too low. Click OK, and you can see it added it here. I'm going to put it before the Twitch message. Doesn't really matter. And now you have a sound that plays every time someone rolls a 6. You can make it play a video, you can make it shake your webcam, you can make it do whatever. Turn on a filter. It's StreamerBot after all. So yeah, that's pretty much it on the StreamerBot side. Let's go back to OBS so I can show you how to change the colors. So what I'm gonna do is play one of them and I'm going to pause it right there. I think that's cool. And what I'm gonna do is on the scene, I'm going to right click and go to filter. So I'm gonna add the color correction filter to the whole scene, not just one single. Well, you could probably have different color that you do whatever you want, really. But here's how to do it for all of them just once. You want to click plus, go to color correction that comes with OBS, and basically play with the hue shift. And you can really pick whatever color you want. Now, if you want a bright color like this one, and you're afraid it's not going to be too visible, this is where you can use the other die with black dots instead. And if you're wondering how to swap them out, I would just double click, browse, then go to the folder that has the black dots. I know this one is 1, 2, double click, browse, 3. So it's better if you choose the ones you want beforehand, basically. It's 4, that is 5. But to be fair, changing 6 is not like a huge deal. It takes 1 minute and 6, just like that. And now you have your bright color with black dots. Beautiful. Also, I don't know if you noticed the way it disappears at the end. It's like kind of translucent. It stays for 6 seconds and then you see it disappear like that. Totally accidental on my part, but it looks cool. Now remember, to reset it, you want everything to be hidden. And then in your game scene, for example, what you can do is add a new source, go to scene, and then add that scene called dice. Okay, that's how you add it to another scene. You want to put it in every scene where you want people to be able to roll the dice, aka every single scene, and you're good to go. Let me trigger it real quick. Scroll down, dice roll, and it says roll the dice. If you're lucky, you'll get a 6. Click redeem, and now it rolls the dice in the color that we chose. Okay, cool. So final question left to be answered is, how did I do it? How did I make the dice animation? Well, I use a software called Blender 3D. You guys should know by now, I've been really practicing and really trying to get better at it. And I used a simulation to get the dice rolling, which means this is not animated by hand. This is literally simulated. What does that mean? That means that I've applied physics to the dice. I created a container, which you can kind of see around here, and it's really bouncing the dice around to get it that way. So if I want to roll a 6, for example, I could probably, do some magic or switch the textures around or whatever. But what I would do is click on the dice, rotate it slightly, and hope for the best, like as if I was literally throwing dice. As you can see, different animation, and this is not suitable. So I would go back and rotate a little bit more, play it again, and just hope to have something that I can use. Again, unusable. Imagine doing this for 12 of them. Okay. Anyways, the advantage here is that, well, if this video does well, that means that you guys have a certain interest. I might update on the same Gumroad page. I might update the product to give you more animations like this one. For example, well, 2 dice, 2 dices, 2 die, but also maybe a D&D type of dice. I'm also kind of figuring out how to do this in CSS, so I don't have to bother you guys with giving you, 6 or 12 different video files or whatever. But then again, having it be in OBS Studio with StreamerBot is a huge advantage because you can manually add whatever it does when it rolls a certain number. You just have to go here, right click, add whatever you want to add, right? If you want to change the trigger, I want every time the word poop is mentioned in chat, just right click, go to commands, core, commands, command triggered, create command, and then type the word poop. And now it's super versatile when it's with StreamerBot. If I make a CSS page and I just give you the page, of course, it'll be easier for you to install, but then you lose all of that. You just don't get to be creative with it. But I'm still gonna learn how to do it with code because there are some projects that I have, and I'll give you a little snippet that instead of involving die, actually right now with channel points, lets you pick a number from 1 to 5. I'm gonna type 2 and press enter and see what happens. I don't know if you see on the right side here, card number 2 shows up. I believe it stays for a couple of seconds and then they should fall. Yeah, they should all fall like that. So I'm working on a little something and I want you to be able to customize that. So I need to figure out how to do this using HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Okay, let's move around. If you're looking for it, it's going to be over there. Dice roll right there on gumroad.com. It is completely free, but you can tip if you want to right there where it says name a fair price. You can put whatever amount you want to give. including 0. 0 equals free. A lot of people get confused with that. Make sure you read the description thoroughly before downloading anything, free or not. That's just some good adulting advice right there. And I included a little preview right there that shows you at least the beginning of each animation for everything, and then tells you what is included in the pack in case you just didn't read the description. Each animation is different because of, the way I simulated everything. But yeah, gumroad.com/guidelevel. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below.